Interfaith Prayer for World Peace. Eco Peace Global Summit is organizing interfaith prayer for world peace with, by celebrating World Interfaith Harmony Week. United Nations established World Interfaith Harmony Week for celebrating and promote the culture of peace among religions. So today we are hosting this to celebrate the wisdom and celebrate the diversity among religions. So I welcome all of you to this event, and I would like to share the words of Hans Kuhn. No peace among the nations without peace among the religions. No peace among the religions without dialogue between the religions. No dialogue between the religions without investigation of the foundation of the religions. So let's explore the foundation of religion and spread peace. I would like to welcome Vasubandhu. He is joining us from Arizona. He is the Faith Community Coordinator for Arizona Faith Network. Volunteer in the Interfaith movement since he was 18 years old, and he is 26 years old and a Mexican immigrant in the USA. He is a founding member of the United Religions CC and Ferdinand Interspiritual Latin America, and is a Shuru in the Dhammapada Sangha, a Zen Buddhist community. I would like to welcome you to offer a prayer and share about Buddhism with us.
Thank you very much, Reshma, and hello everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity to connect together and to observe together the World Interfaith Harmony Week. From Buddhism, I would like to share with all of you something that is written in the Dhammapada. And this say, as the bee gathers honey from the flower and files away without harming the flower, without harming the beauty, or its fragrance just go around the village. So we think in Buddhism that we need to be as the bee, that we need to be in this world without to harm in this world, without to hurt each other. So with this prayer, I offer in observance of the World Interfaith Harmony Week together. And also, I would like to share with you something from Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh is a Zen master from Buddhism, and he shared the importance of the mindful breathing. So I invite you that we can breathe together, mindful. I invite you that we can close our eyes and that we can breathe together one time. Breathe mindful in and breathe mindful out. With this opportunity to breathe together, I offer my prayers. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Vasu. And I would like to welcome Purvi from Jainism. She is joining us from Jaipur, and she's a strong believer in Jainism, and she offers prayer and visiting Jain saints. It's a kind of routine for her. I welcome Purvi.
Hello everyone, Jai Jinendra. So have you ever wondered that why some people in this world are born with a silver spoon, whereas some people have to struggle for their daily food? Why are some people born geniuses, whereas some people are unfortunately physically challenged? Well, Jainism has an answer to all these questions. Jainism is not a religion, but it is a way of living. It is said to be one of the oldest religious beliefs in the world. It started with Lord Rishabdev as its first Tirthankar and Bhagwan Mahavir as the last one. So Tirthankars are the ones who have ended their cycle of rebirth. Like they say that energy is neither created nor destroyed. That is what Jainism believes in. There is life before birth and there is life after death. All of us have been born millions and millions of times as animals, as angels, as devils, and humans. The only way to end this cycle of rebirth is by taking moksha, that is attaining nirvana. Jainism very strongly preaches the concept of karma, that is, whatever happens to you in this life depends on your past deeds. If your past deeds are good, then it is like a savings account. If you have done good deeds, so you have done good savings for yourself, and you will get the benefit of those in your next life. Whereas if you have done bad deeds, then you will have to pay heavy debts. Jainism also has a very well described way to attain this path of moksha. One of my favorite beliefs of Jainism that I would like to share with you is Anekantvad. So I would like to tell you a story. There were 6 people who were blindfolded, and there was an elephant, and they were introduced to an elephant. And they were asked by a minister that what is it? Somebody said that it is somebody who was touching the trunk of the elephant said that it is trunk of a tree. Somebody said that it is a pillar. Somebody said it's a cow's tail. Somebody said that it is a rhinoceros with the heavy horn, horn. So the minister opened everybody's eyes, and they said that you were all right. Everybody was right because everybody was saying what they experienced. So everybody has their own perception, and we should respect everybody's perception and way of thinking. So it says in Hindi, instead of saying mera hi sahi, mera bhi sahi, that means that I not only I am right. We have to say I am also right. So that is why Jainism respects its own religion as well as all other religions in this world. Thank you. And it lays the maximum emphasis to a person's qualities and not any other thing that they have. So I would like to end by a prayer in Jainism, that is Namo Ariyantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajhayanam, Namo Loe Savesahunam. Eso panch namo karo, Save Pave Panasino, Manglanam cha Savesin, Padamam Havai Mangalam. This means that I pay respect to all the people who have renounced this world. I pay respect to all the teachers who teach me the path to attain this world. I respect all the people who have left their worldly desires and are on their path to moksha. And I respect all other beings present on this earth. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Purvi. And next up, I would like to invite Elena Rosenman, who is the founder and executive director of Trust Immune, an Israeli organization building trust and mutual and throughout the Middle East in the midst of violent conflict. Offer the prayers in Judaism. Welcome, ma'am.
Okay, do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear.
Shalom from Jerusalem. First of all, I have to say, looking at this screen of all these beautiful young faces is so energizing and inspiring to me. Next month, I will be 80 years old. And when I see these gorgeous, bright faces, and I've already learned from each of the speakers. I know that our future's in good hands, and I really bless you to be carrying on the marvelous work that older generation of URI has been involved in. And I'm very excited to be with you today. I appreciate the invitation from Greshma and being able to share a screen with all this youth and beauty. I am to talk about Judaism, and remind me, Greshma, how much time am I supposed to speak?
10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Judaism is another ancient religion, which has been very influential in the formation of other religions, such as Christianity and Islam. Judaism is actually very small in the world today. There are only about 15 million Jews in the world. Over half of them live here in Israel, in our land, and the others are spread around North and South America, Europe. But I have no idea how much any of you know about Judaism or how many Jews that you know. As I say, we're really a small group, but we get a lot of attention in the press. So people think there's a lot, but we're not. Judaism has its own calendar. In our calendar, we're in the year 5782, and our calendar starts with the creation of the world. And many of you may know this story, which is the 7 days of creation, where God creates every day a different aspect. And on the 6th day, he creates Adam and Eve, the first human beings in our tradition. And then on the 7th day, he rests and he just enjoys his work that he's done. Our calendar is lunar. We have 12 months of 28 days apiece, but you're all smart and you can do the calculation and you'll know that that only is going to give us 336 days, and we're missing some to catch up with the solar calendar. As a result, every several years, we have a leap year, a leap month. Not a day like February 29th in the solar calendar. We need to put in a whole extra month to make up the extra days to reconcile with the solar calendar. Right now, we're in the month of Adar. And this year, because it's a leap year, we have 2 Adars. We're in Adar 1, and then next month will be Adar 2. Our calendar does all this, especially in order to keep our holidays, that the spring holidays happen in the spring and the winter holidays happen in the winter, etc. Our religion is based on ancient religious writings that go back to Moses and our 5 books of Moses, or the Hebrew Bible, the Torah as we call it, the New Testament as the Christians call it. That is the book that is the basis of all the stories and foundation and teachings of our religion. However, we have another 20 books that have the name of Tanakh, which include the prophets and other writings. In our religion, we go back to the first Jew, who was Abraham Avinu, we say, Abraham our father, who, living in the ancient world, was surrounded by religions that were polytheistic and had many gods. He came to the realization that there was one God and created the Jewish religion as a monotheistic religion. This is encapsulated in our basic prayer, which is Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, which means, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one." And we say this prayer many times a day throughout our 3 prayer services, when we go to sleep and at other times. This is our basic declaration of faith. So 4,000 years ago, we have Abraham. He is told by God to leave and to go to the land that he's going to show him. He comes here to Israel. He's in Hebron eventually, where he buries his wife Sarah. He purchases a piece of land, which you can go visit now today in Hebron, where we believe Abraham and Sarah are buried, his wife and their son Yitzhak and his son Jacob and their wives. And so our land really encapsulates and demonstrates all the stories of the Bible. In our stories, eventually, and I should mention that Abraham and Sarah had a son, Isaac, who became the next father of our religion. And he also had another son with Sarah's maidservant, Hagar. And that son was Ishmael, who became the father of the Arab nation and the Muslim religion. Then we have Jacob, who is the son of Isaac. He ends up in Egypt, where eventually the Jews come. They are enslaved there. And Moses, our teacher, leads them out of slavery in Egypt to the promised land. That is one of our major holidays of Pesach or Passover, where we remember for 3,500 years, we remember every year on this date that this is when we left slavery, and we have to remember what it felt like to be a stranger in another land and to be a slave. There are many more stories I could go through that have to do with our holidays, but I don't want to take too much time. Basically, when we got to Israel after we left Egypt and we got the 10 Commandments at the Temple Mount, at Mount Sinai, we got to Israel. We built our temple. Our temple was destroyed by the Babylonians and we were exiled. We then were allowed to come back. We built a second temple, which the Romans destroyed. And then that was in the year 70 of the Common Era. Then we were exiled again throughout the Roman Empire and mainly remained there until we came back to our land and the state of Israel was established in 1948. I live here in Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Our religion has its own lifestyle. We have books and writings that determine our daily conduct, what we wear, what we eat. We have very stringent laws about food. Business laws, I mean, everything, how a marriage is run is all determined by this code. So we have a very separate lifestyle. The women cover their heads, the men wear a kippah, a special head covering. And so these are part of what the observant Jews are practicing to this day. We have our own language, Hebrew, which is the language of the Bible and the holy language. We have a couple other languages which Jews created throughout the centuries that they were in other countries to use among themselves. We are also a race in the sense that you are a Jew by virtue of having a Jewish mother. So it's our blood that determines it, not a declaration of faith or a baptism or something else. Simply you have a Jewish mother, you are Jewish. We're a nation. The state of Israel is the Jewish nation. Every Jew has the right to come here and live here and be a citizen. We also have 20% of our nation, which is not Jewish, mostly Islam, and a small percentage of Christians. We have therefore also Arabic as an official language, as well as Hebrew. And in terms of peace, peace is a very prominent concept in Judaism. Peace is shalom. And shalom is a word that we use in greeting to say hello or goodbye. It's used in many connotations. The city of Jerusalem, the name comes from the word shalom. This is a city of peace. In our Bible, the word shalom appears 200 times because it is a fundamental concept. In our daily prayers, we are constantly asking for peace, praying for peace, and yearning for peace. We are aware that we can pray for wealth, and I can be wealthy, but nobody else is. Or I can pray for health, and I can be healthy, but nobody else is. But if I pray for peace, then I'm really praying for the whole world. Because for me to have peace, it has to exist outside of me in my own life. So we are constantly striving for peace, shalom in ourselves, shalom in our communities, and also shalom in the greater world. I'm sure you read in the news all the time about our conflict with the Palestinians, and there are people like all the interfaith world here and all of the URI peace builders who are working daily to create peace among the religions in the Holy Land, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. And we also have a small religion of the Druze faith. And you may know there's a very famous verse in Yeshayahu, in Isaiah, the prophet, who says, "They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and they shall study warfare no more." That is a primary concept in Judaism, that we are working constantly and daily for peace. And one of the major prayers that we say at the end of all of the prayer part of our prayer services, the very specific prayer that is fundamental in all of our prayer services, and also at the end of our prayer for the dead, our Kaddish, which we say constantly to honor those who have died before us. This prayer is in Hebrew, Oseh Shalom Bimramam, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol HaOlam, V'Imeru Amen. And that means, for he who makes peace from on high, may he bring peace upon us. May he bring peace upon all of the people of Israel, upon all of the people of the world. And we say Amen. And I would like to, it's a very beautiful tune to sing it. Oseh Shalom Bimramam, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol HaOlam, V'Imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol HaOlam, Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol HaOlam. I know there will be time later for questions and answers, so I'll leave you with this basic information and wait to hear any questions you might have.
Thank you so much, Alina, for sharing about Judaism. Thank you so much. And yes, we have last 10 minutes to share reflections and share the questions. So I'm going to Sister Jessie Thomas, a Catholic nun, belongs to the congregation of Missionary Sisters of St. Teresa of Infant Jesus, Kollam. She renders her service in the realm of education as a high school teacher. I welcome you, Sister Jessie Thomas. Please share about Christianity.
How good and pleasant it is, brothers and sisters dwell in unity. My dear brothers and sisters, I greet you all in the name of God Father. And today, I'm so happy to be a part of this hours of global interfaith prayers for world peace, which promotes fraternity and peace between all people regardless of faith. Thank you, Ms. Greshma, for inviting me to be a part of it. So, Christianity, stemming from the teachings of Jesus Christ, is more than a system of a religious belief. It has also generated a culture, a set of ideas and ways of life, practices and artifacts that have been handed down from generation to generation since Jesus Christ first became the object of faith. Christianity is thus both a living tradition of faith and the culture that the faith leaves behind. The Holy Bible reveals the incarnation of God. Jesus is God incarnated. The Word became flesh. So hereafter, there is no dichotomy or division between flesh and soul, body and soul. Man is the integrate unity in whom God has written his laws. So one should be able to read God's word in the other. Man writes history on the paper, but God writes his salvation story in everyone. Those who are able to read the word of God in the other will find God himself. In Bible, God asked Adam, "Where are you?" And to Cain, "Where is your brother?" So the answers to these questions are the core of Christianity. And that is what Lord Jesus explained the very popular story of Good Samaritan. In the story, the Samaritan man, who was considered an enemy, serves the life of the man. Lord Jesus purposefully took him as the hero. The parable ends with Jesus giving a commandment to go out and do the same as the Samaritan had done, which means you have to go beyond the boundaries of your own community, religion, race, and tradition. Then you will be able to see the face of God in the face of the other. It is the core of Christianity. It is not just practicing some rituals. It is a morality, universal morality, which means a vision which will enable us to see a universal outlook. So the heart of the Christian's moral message is love for one's neighbor. By reflecting on the thought and returning into the solitude of our hearts, I invite you, join with me silently for the prayer for the peace of the world. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it's in giving that we receive, and it's in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it's in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. May God the Creator bless us. May the Redeemer heal us. And may God the Holy Spirit fill us with peace. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Jessie, for sharing your thoughts on Christianity, as well as offering the prayers also. So next up, I would like to welcome Professor Malik bin Muhammad, who is a Jordanian lecturer, trainer, consultant, and writer based in Dubai, UAE. Professor Malik is associated with interfaith groups and church leaders. Among them are Soka Gakkai International, Earth Charter, United Religions Initiative, Raja Yoga Center, and Islamic Affairs and Charitable Activities Department, Dubai. I heartily welcome Malik Muhammad sir to share his thoughts on Islam and also offer the prayers. Welcome, sir. Sir, your mic is muted, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Sorry, now the sound is clear?
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah. I have written a short message because I understand it's only 10 minutes. It would have been nice to meet with you and have a cup of tea and perhaps some cookies and enjoy the company with you all. But anyway, this is the only option in this new history right now we have. So when we say Assalamu alaikum, means peace upon all of you. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless you and guide you best. It's my pleasure to have been invited to participate in this event of EcoSpace, Global Summit, Global Interfaith, and Prayer for World Peace. We all have been invited, regardless of our race, origin, gender, or faith, to share a common prayer, as we all have a common goal for peace, respect to humanity, and to save the earth. The Almighty Allah is perfect. The universe and His beautiful creations are so excuse me, I will just hold because I have other mobile. So unique, and it is the system and the orders are made for us to follow. It is sad to see the continuous damages caused by humans against fellow humans and against nature, the killing and the unjust attitudes indicated that are not developed to think about the purpose of our life. People have the latest inventions and technology which are supposed to fulfill our mankind needs. Allah has created us to worship Him and follow His order. It says in the verse in the Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, means in the name of the Almighty, the most merciful, the most gracious. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have created jinn and humans to worship me in the different ways. So everything we do, it should be in a worshiping format. I did not create the jinn, but I created, but I expect you to worship me. That's what it says. The Holy Quran is the last and complete book after the other books, the Az-Zabur and the Torah and the Al-Injil. The Torah, the Bible, the Old Testament and the New Testament. All prophets and messengers came with the same message, but there are some variations to solve particular problems that arose during their time. Islam and the Quran has the answer to all our questions. There are an increasing and tremendous number of books and researches have been conducted by research centers and even not Muslim centers, but research centers from all over the world, Europe, USA, and other countries, who are discovering things in found in the Quran, which even the Arabs and the people, they have not discovered yet. Now, this leaves us that we need to go back to the books, to the original scripts, and to understand the purpose of our creation, the nature. Interestingly, now because of the development of technology and IT, all the books relating to astrology, nature, the earth, the human, the universe, it is been easily now, it can be saved and can be analyzed, and is coming up with the beautiful results, which is not only to be kept for the Muslims or for some people, but it is for everyone. And the Muslim civilization during the past 1400 years, it passed through different up and downs, but it has catered to many, regardless of their faith. The past, present, and the future is well documented, and we are all told to seek knowledge and to go to the truth, to increase our faith as believers. And we do not base our belief on superstitions or imaginations, but it should be on the truth. It is said that humans follow wrong things, driven by ego and greed. Many, even Muslims, become busy with materialistic things and follow their ego and greed, and they are not educated. It is sad about their misunderstanding of the religion and the practice. And the new generation are losing ethics and values and beautiful cultural attitudes, which they're supposed to follow. And it is found among different faiths. Through our experience meeting people from different parts of the world, we found that each country, each culture have a beautiful things, which many of it does not conflict even with our faith. But there is some good common things, which is, whether it's in Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, are there. It is in our faith. We call our faith leaders to encourage people, first, to go back and read and learn their original scripts. Secondly, read the Quran and understand the meaning. This is important. Seek the truth in everything. And promote spirituality and follow prayers in even outside the houses of worshiping. For example, churches or synagogue or other places, most to have open prayers in malls, because many young people, they go outside. They don't go to the churches or to the prayer places. And to promote spirituality, and also to provide family counseling, guidance, and uphold ethics and values, and conduct prayers. I remember a few years back, I came to know about a church is holding its prayers in the malls, have a separate part in Liverpool. Similarly, we can have that the same everywhere. With this, may I request the respected faith leaders and all the participants and the viewers to sit quietly, close your eyes for 1 minute, take a deep breath, and focus on your inner self, please. I am going to say a short prayer, which is it is in Arabic, but it is mentioned in the Holy Book, Quran, by Muhammad, and also some words from Isa, means Jesus, and Musa, and Jonah, Yunus, and Ibrahim, etc. All. So may Allah Azza wa Jal accept our prayers kindly, and during that time and after the end, you say Ameen, and you can wipe You may wipe your face with your hands and feel the energy in you, inshallah. Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم يا الله، يا واحد يا أحد، يا فرد يا صمد، يا قوي يا عزيز، يا عزيز يا حكيم. لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم، لا إله إلا الله رب العرش العظيم، لا إله إلا الله رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش الكريم، لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم، لا إله إلا الله رب العرش العظيم، لا إله إلا الله رب السماوات السبع ورب العرش العظيم، لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. اللهم نسألك بأسمائك الحسنى وباسمك الأعظم وبنور وجهك العظيم، يا قوي يا عزيز، يا قريب يا مجيب، يا حي يا قيوم، يا ذا الجلال والإكرام، يا بديع السماوات والأرض، يا نور، يا الله. اللهم إنا نسألك بيا من لا تراه العيون ولا تخالطه الظنون ولا يصفه الواصفون ولا تغيره الحوادث ولا الدهور ولا يخشى الدوائر، يعلم مثاقيل الجبال ومكاييل البحار وعدد قطر الأمطار وعدد ورق الأشجار وعدد ما يظلم عليه الليل ويشرق عليه النهار، ولا تواري منه سماء ولا أرضا أرضا ولا جبالا إلا ويعلم ما في وعره ولا بحرا إلا ويعلم ما في قعره. اللهم نسألك أن تجعل خير أيامنا وأعمالنا وخواتمها خيرها وخير أيامنا يوم نلقاك فيه، إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم أطفئ نار من شب لنا ناره، اللهم اكفنا شر الحروب، اللهم من علينا بالأمن والأمان والسلام في كل مكان في الأرض يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم الطف يا الله بالفقراء والمساكين والناس أجمعين. اللهم اجعلنا في درعك الحصين واسترنا بسترك الواقي، يا من كفانا كل شر، اكفنا ما أهمنا من أمور الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم اكفنا من كل هم وكل وباء وادفع عنا كل شر وكل سوء. وقولنا يا الله بالتحقيق، يا شفيق يا رفيق، فرج عنا كل ضيق ولا تحملنا ما لا نطيق. إنك إلهنا الحق الحقيقي، يا مشرق البرهان، يا قوي الأركان، يا من رحمته في كل مكان، يا أرحم الراحمين، يا أرحم الراحمين في هذا المكان وفي كل مكان، يا من لا يخلو منه مكان. احرسنا بعينك التي لا تنام واكنفنا بكنفك الذي لا يرام. اللهم إنه قد تيقن قلوبنا إننا آمنا بك، احرسنا بعينك التي لا تنام واكفنا بكنفك الذي لا يرام. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين وإنا لا نهلك وأنت معنا. يا رجاءنا فارحمنا بقدرتك يا الله، يا عظيم يرجى لكل عظيم، يا عليم يا حليم. أنت بحاجتنا عليم وعلى خلاصنا قدير وهو عليك يسير، فمن علينا بقضائها يا أكرم الأكرمين، يا أجود الأجودين، يا أسرع الحاسبين، يا رب العالمين. ارحمنا وارحمنا وارحم جميع الفقراء والناس والمساكين والأرض وجميع النبات والشجر والحيوانات يا أرحم الراحمين. والطف بنا يا الله واكفنا شر الأوبئة الكورونا وجميع الأمراض وجميع الزلازل والحروب، وارحم جميع المذنبين من أمة الإسلام وغير الإسلام، وارحم جميع خلقك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم استجب لنا، اللهم استجب لنا برحمتك وكرمك وعجل علينا بفرج عاجل منا بجودك وارتفاعك في علو سمائك يا أرحم الراحمين، إنك على كل شيء قدير. وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا خاتم النبيين وعلى آله أجمعين إلى حضرة النبي المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم ولجميع خلقه أجمعين. لهم من الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، الرحمن الرحيم، مالك يوم الدين، إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين، اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم. آمين 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 يا أرحم الراحمين. I hope I have taken just the right time. Maybe I have taken more than 10 minutes, but I thank you again, and may the Almighty bless you all. And it is nice to see you all participating. I'm sure all of you, they will pass a good light of peace to all your communities, and especially now with the social media, so that the points I mentioned kindly recommended to everybody, the church leaders and other people, to go and be kind to other people and to promote prayers and spirituality, and even outside the malls. Especially now with the generation, they are busy with the mobile phones, and I meet people from Europe, UK, and other, and they say that it's not like the old times. They used to sit and dine together. Now everybody is busy with his phone and gadget. So we should try to find a way, to go back to our good times. Thank you very much. And if you have anything, certainly some explanation relating to the faith can be searched, or I can arrange something to forward to you all. But I thought this will be hopefully useful, and I hopefully we feel the energy, inshallah, Pastor. Thank you very much. مع السلامة. مع السلامة means goodbye.
Thank you so much, Professor Malik, for sharing this prayer. So wonderful to have all faiths together and offer prayer. And next, I would like to welcome Dinesh Rao sir. He is joining us from India, and he's working as Director of Infinity Building Solutions Private Limited in Bangalore, and he's the Secretary of State Baha'i Council of Karnataka, and engaged in the service to mankind. I welcome Dinesh Rao sir to offer a prayer and share about Baha'i faith.
Thank you very much, Vishma, for this wonderful introduction. In fact, when Vishma spoke to me about this initiative of getting everybody online, I was actually wondering what will be the outcome. But today, I'm feeling that energy, and I'm feeling very positive to see representatives from different religious background, all on one common platform, united with one common purpose to achieve peace, to achieve oneness, and to move forward as one brother and sisters. I think it's a wonderful initiative, and a lot of hard work has gone behind organizing this series of events. And I'm sure the messages that we have received from all the religious representatives, we will all try to learn, we will all try to imbibe, and try to use it in our day-to-day life. Now, regarding Baha'i faith, since it's the world's youngest religion, some of you, those who are in India, you associate the Baha'i faith through the Lotus Temple. There's a Lotus Temple, and it was dedicated in the year 1986 to the humanity, to the community of India, and the Supreme Court and the government of India has dedicated and honored this temple as a temple of peace and temple of welfare. And as you all know, even in Israel, I think Elena, since you are out of Israel, we have our holy places in Haifa, in Akka, and some of these also are tourist places where we find that every year a lot of people visit these places, and it's an occasion for them to meet and to spend time in spirituality. India actually has been associated right from the inception of the Baha'i faith, because one of the first 18 among the 18 believers who believed in this new religion was from India way back in 1844. So since then, you will find the Baha'i faith actually has grown, and today there are over 2.5 million Baha'is in India in more than 10,000 different localities and neighborhoods. So the Baha'i community believes that God loves everyone. Wherever you are, His love is infallible. It is everlasting, and God loves because He's created each one of us. And since God loves each one of us, He also sends His messenger or divine teacher from time to time to guide us, to educate us, depending on how the social situation changes. So you'll find things change after maybe a few centuries. Sometimes things change much faster. And unless we adapt to these changes, we will all be left in our own shell. So from time to time, the Almighty sends His divine teachers to educate mankind. And as Baha'is, we believe that there have been a series of divine teachers who have come to educate each one of us. Krishna, Buddha, Jesus Christ, Zoroaster, Prophet Muhammad, and now we believe Baha'u'llah is the messenger of God for this age. So the essential teaching of Baha'u'llah is that earth is one country and mankind are its citizens. And we all are created from one divine source. So essentially, the concept of prayer and concept of service go hand in hand. That means once I'm transformed internally, if I'm able to overcome my shortcomings, if I'm able to overcome my ego, if I'm able to overcome my worldly attachments, and if I'm able to overcome my lust, then I'll become internally a better person. And outwardly, my actions will then be directed towards service of mankind. And unless prayer and service go hand in hand, it will not be able to achieve the desired outcome. So which is why you will find that members of the Baha'i community, in close collaboration with all the religious denominations and all the friends, we are working selflessly, voluntarily, doing different service activity, right from holding a small children class. So when we have children from different religious background, and when they all get together, it creates in them a sense of unity. It creates in them a bond of friendship. It creates in them a sense of morality. And as they grow up, they grow with a strong foundation. They don't grow with hatred. They don't grow being selfish, and they don't grow with hearts and minds which are destructive in nature. They all grow as youth to see how they can collaborate with each other. They all grow as youth to see how they can balance their studies, then their responsibility towards the family, and also service to mankind. And when they start a family life, when they grow a little elder and they become professionals, they also demonstrate through their character, through their moral rectitude, and through their action, that how each one of us can lead an integrated life. It is not only when you are aged, or it is not when you have free time, you practice spirituality. It is not at your convenience that we practice morality. At all times, these actions reflect in each one of us, and the way friends collaborate, they see the strengths and forget the shortcomings and see what can be done to overcome the challenges that the humanity faces. So sometimes we face, depending on the reality, there are challenges maybe of caste, there are challenges of creed, sometimes there are challenges of nationality, there are challenges of inequality, then there are challenges related to material wealth, there are challenges related to color, race. So you will find that in our day-to-day life, there are so many challenges that each one of us we encounter. And unless our view is worldwide, and unless we see each one of us as creator of the same offspring, we'll continue to hold these prejudices knowingly, unknowingly, and that will become a barrier in our way to provide service to the mankind. So this is in brief, and I really thank and appreciate the EcoPeace Team Cafe, Grishma, and everyone who's responsible for organizing these series of webinar. And I'll say a small prayer. This prayer is from the Baha'i Holy Writings, revealed by Baha'u'llah himself, the prophet founder of the Baha'i faith. And this prayer is an exaltation to give each one of us the strength so that we'll be able to serve humanity wherever we are and in whichever country we reside. Oh my God, I ask thee by thy most glorious name to aid me in that which will cause the affairs of thy servants to prosper and thy cities to flourish. Thou indeed hast power over all things. Baha'u'llah. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing Baha'i faith with us. Thank you. And I would like to welcome Arya Meher. She is a student at Tata Institute of Social Science in Guwahati. She is studying MA in Ecology, Environment and Sustainable Development. I welcome Arya to offer about Hinduism.
Thank you, Grishma. I'm really happy today to share my thoughts with all of you. And as all the great people here explained, every religion, the core of every religion, I think it is peace. So Hinduism also consider peace as its core value, and it is kind of a way of life focusing on dharma, which means the right doing. So I am basically trying to introduce you to Shanti Mantras, which are verses from Upanishad, which is a holy textbook of Hinduism. And Shanti Mantras basically focus on peace, inner peace, peace with nature, and peace with the universe. So I welcome you all to understand with me the Shanti Mantras. Om. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
I just have some issues with seeing. Is it visible now?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. Sorry for that.
Now it's okay.
Okay, so let's go with Shanti Mantras. Om सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्यो मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शं नो मित्रशं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वहार्यमा शं नो इन्द्रो बृहस्पति शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ वाङ्गा मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आवीर आविर्मायेति वेदस्य मा आनिष्टः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासिः अनेन अभितेन पुरात्रान् सन्दधामिह ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ऋतं वादिष्यामि सत्यं वादिष्यामि तत्मामवतु तद्वाक्तारामवतु अवतु मामवतु वाक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधेतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ द्वयो शान्तिरन्तरगस्म्यहम् पृथ्वी शान्तिरापा शान्तिः ओषधया शान्तिः वनस्पतय शान्तिः विश्वे देव शान्तिः ब्रह्मा शान्तिः सर्वं शान्ति शान्तित्रेव शान्ति सामा शान्तिरेधि ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सर्वेषां स्वास्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. I really hope that let there be peace with everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Arya, for sharing that. It really gives inner peace to us. So next, I welcome Soumya Iyer to share about yogic tradition. Soumya Iyer is a yoga therapist and researcher. She is the founder of Praful Urja Charitable Foundation. In her spare time, she writes poetry, draws, and stares at the stars. And she recently published a chapter on yoga, peace, and conflict in Lester Cook's Encyclopedia of Violence, Peace, and Conflict. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Grishma, and thank you all for having me today. So today I would like to discuss, can you hear me, Grishma?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great. So today,
There is some background noise. So
one moment. Is it better?
oh, sorry. It's better. It's better.
Great, great. So today I'd like to discuss, first of all, I want to thank everybody else for speaking, and thank you for having me, Grishma. And at the very start, we heard about mindfulness, and I'm going to draw that back in. And I want to say that I think what everybody spoke about today, and all of the prayers, especially the ones that were translated into English, but all of the prayers reflected back on peace. And really, if we look at that, that's what all of the traditions are imbibing. And so today I want to discuss how yoga as a non-faith tradition can also impact interfaith harmony, and maybe a little bit about the environment, because I know this is Eco Teen Cafe. So I'd like to discuss yoga in terms of its philosophies and the practice of those philosophies, because a lot of people may feel that yoga is related to Hinduism. Actually, if you look at it closely, it may be the other way around. Hinduism adopted the yogic systems, and maybe some of the other Vedic traditions such as Jaina and Buddhism also adopted those same concepts, and they're all interlinked. They were all happening around the same time and building around the same time, and you would find that then this yoga system was also there, and other groups also have similar ideas. So even some of the non-Vedic traditions, like everyone has spoken today, what it comes down to in my belief is something called awareness, which at the very start we spoke about mindfulness. And this mindfulness and awareness are very closely related. Yes, and as the Jaina person mentioned, Jaina is not a religion, it's a way of life. The same thing, yoga is also not necessarily a religion, and not a faith tradition, but it can be just defined as a way of life or a lifestyle. And followers of yoga can then adhere to any faith tradition, because this is merely giving an ontological perspective to life. It includes a set of morals and ethics, which any individual, community, or society can choose to practice. So what are these? What are these morals and ethics? As Sri Aurobindo stated, all life is yoga. And so therefore the core of yoga can be that awareness, which can happen while performing any other activity, or any other non-activity, whether it's walking, cooking, cleaning, any daily. It can even be a convicted criminal who is aware, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing something which is morally unjust or ethically wrong, but I'm aware that I'm doing it. They can still be practicing yoga, though maybe one of the tenets of yoga is the non-violence or the tradition of peace, and maybe then the convicted criminal doesn't really fall into that. And as long as as long as people are practicing awareness, and I think we found that in everybody's talks today, that everyone is very aware of that faith tradition, whether it's Judaism or Jainism or Islam or Christianity, Baha'i, all of the traditions, everybody spoke about how aware they are of what that means to them and what that means to the world and what it means to peace. And being aware of what you're doing, how you're doing it, how it affects you, how it affects each cell, each atom, each subatomic particle within you, how it impacts the universe. This is awareness. This is mindfulness. And the Baha'i person also gave a very good example, but I've forgotten the exact word that he used. From the yogic perspective, awareness is an attribute of the intellect, which is a part of the entity called Prakriti, and or the nature, and there's different elements to Prakriti. And awareness helps to bring all of those into focus. So those parts of the intellect called Prakriti include the buddhi, the intellect, the ahankar or ego, the manas or mind, the 5 sense perceptions, indriyas, jnana indriyas, and the organs of interaction. So the 5 sense perception, everybody knows, the 5 corresponding sense organs, the organs of action, we know all of these, and the 5 great elements, which are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And I won't go into all of the details, but the more we become aware, because I think I have about another 15-20 minutes of information of a document written, but I won't go into all of that. Instead, I'll say what happens when we become aware. So when we become aware, right now we tend, on a daily basis, we tend to react to people, to situations, to events. And the reactions are based on impressions that are hidden deep in our subconscious. And whenever we confront a particular situation, the ego brings up that image of the similar event from the past and accordingly reacts. But when we become aware, we're able to work from without the ego, from pure intellect and intellectual wisdom, and then we're able to respond intelligently. This is what happens. Yes, we may meet somebody, there may be past wars based, as the introduction section, I think Grishma, you did the introduction, that without dialogue and without understanding each of those religions and researching that religion, studying the religion, how can we then move forward? And that's exactly what everyone did today, is by giving us that and building the knowledge and building that awareness. And that allows us to then respond intelligently, to know, okay, this is a place of peace. This is a religion of peace. And through that practice of awareness, which is a repeated practice, it's not something that just happens in one day and I've become aware of everything. It's every moment of our life, every moment of our being, to become aware. At that point, then we realize the synchronicity between the self and the others. We realize that every action requires awareness. And when the awareness is there, we then choose the path that is most synchronous with your own self, with each of your cells and your subatomic particles, and also then with all life. And that happens also with thoughts. So practicing yoga through, a lot of people, of course, the asana practice is the most well-known. So practicing yoga through its asana system allows you to align your body, which then steadies your mind. When your body is you're ready, then your mind automatically follows. And then it allows you to become aware, because you can sit still and pay attention to everything. So, and what happens then? We build empathy. And we build this idea of Ubuntu, that only by bringing everybody together can we actually be whole. And this is what is known as karma yoga to also, to bring others on the boat of life. So with that said, Grishma asked me to do a short meditation, so we'll do about 2 minutes. So if everyone can come to a seated position, wherever you are, sitting still with your eyes closed. Start by becoming aware of your own self, each of your body parts, from your head all the way down to your toes, all the cells within you, the intercellular spaces, the subatomic particles, and send your breath to each of your cells and intercellular spaces, the subatomic particles within you. Through your breath, let it be rejuvenated, each body part be rejuvenated and energized. With the thoughts of peace, the feeling of peace stemming from within you, and allow it to envelop you, surround you, and then slowly let it spread and spread to your neighbor or whomever is in the room with you, even in this Zoom room. Let it spread to everybody here, that feeling of peace and harmony with each person in the room. And then to all the people in your city, to all the people, spread, allow the same beautiful peace and harmony to spread to all the people and living beings in your state and your country, and to all the countries in the world. Allow it to spread to all the living beings in the entire world and all the living beings in all the universes. May they be filled with peace and harmony. And then bring that peace and harmony back from the entire universe, all the universes, back to you and your heart. If you would like, you can join your hands at your heart and find gratitude for the opportunity to be aware, to become aware through this program. Namaste. And gently blink your eyes open. Thank you, Grishma.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing those wonderful experience and giving us a meditation experience to close this prayer. And now I welcome, the floor is open for sharing reflections and questions. If you have any questions, please share. And I would also like to welcome Bishop Sylvester Punimuthan. He's the Bishop of Punalur Diocese in Kerala, India. So, please, if you like to share a word with us, please. Nice. Yes, ma'am. I saw your hand raised. So, if you have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I would have to say I want to really congratulate you on putting together a very. I would have to say I have not. I've gone to many URI programs, programs by different URI groups, CCs in the past, and I would have to say this is really profound. I think you've brought together a very diverse group, age and beauty, or maybe graceful age and graceful age as well, and people from different parts of all these different religions. And I don't know if I've gone to a program that has this many different ones. So thank you very much for that. Maybe I have, but it's really stuck out this time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Now, like we bring 8 religions from all around the world. We try to bring more, but we find 8 religious leaders who join us today, and with great gratitude. I really want to thank all of you to take this time to share with us. Yes, Faisal raised his hand. Please, Faisal.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much for the wonderful prayers, for the wonderful sharing that all faith leaders and representatives who share their thoughts and prayers. And definitely we are feeling great blessings that we received from your lovely words and good wishes. Here I would like to share one very small thought that tolerance is one step closer to accepting others. So I think religion never ever divided people, although these are the some you can say interests or the other means that I think that has misused the religion, I must say. So I think this is the time to think that religion never ever divided us or never divide us. So I think it's time to think that it's a beautiful relation that we are sharing right now on this platform. So credit goes to you, Grishma, a wonderful job that you have done to bring lovely people from different regions, from different countries, from different faiths. So I think we really received a lot of blessings from this beautiful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Faisal, for sharing your lovely words. Thank you. And James, do you want to share?
Thank you, Krishma. It's amazing and inspiring to hear the different sharings and the guest speakers, the wisdom so deep. And I want to say I'm so grateful to hear the evolution of the transformative education that is really a widespread, which I believe that is what will save our humanity from division, from every form of segregations and every form of racism any form of division that continue to challenge our human unity. I think just like our folks just said, our problem is not religion. Our problem is not politics, but our problem is the ethics. How do we practice politics, religion, ethically, in a way to know that the other is part of the whole, that we are one. So the ideology and the idea of the new dispensation of this educational pedagogy is that how to foster interfaith harmony by reminding each and every one of us that we are one. And that reminds me the real baseline, one of the baselines that we uses to facilitate this understanding, the golden rule and Ubuntu, that serves as a guiding principle to remind us that we are one, beyond religious diversity, cultural diversity, or beyond every form of identity. So I want to say thank you for this great initiative, fostering oneness, fostering, reminding us and bringing us from different religious backgrounds to see that the other is the same as us. And that reminds me to say that If Ready slogan speaks about turning the other as a brother and oneness. And this is one mission that we all share. And I want to say thank you for organizing this wonderful initiative, this platform that continue bringing everyone together. I am blessed by the sharing, I don't know her name, that facilitated the meditation exercise. I think she's so rich and so deep, and I want to commend that she is really deep. And I would love to invite her also in one of the Ifrod Institute's programs on meditation. We offer peace leadership models and interpersonal, inner leadership peace practice is one of the pillars of our concept. So through you, Krishma, we can reach out to her to come and share her wisdom in our platform. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. I love you all. Greetings from Ivory Coast.
Thank you. Thanks, James. I'm sure I can share her contact. And Elena raised her hand, so we can hear from her.
Right. I guess this is backwards. I wanted to show, I got these pins that say love your neighbor in English, Arabic, and Hebrew. And I'm distributing them at an event this week to the women, Muslim, Christian, and Jewish that we're working with. So I'm sorry it's backwards, but it's very inspiring to see love your neighbor in Arabic, Hebrew, and English.
Thank you so much. And that reminds me the words of Archbishop Desmond Tutu. One day we will wake up and discover we are family. So we all are joining from different parts of the world and belongs to different religious traditions. But today, I think through this Zoom meeting, we all become a family members. So with great gratitude, I would like to welcome Khadija. She wrote a poem for us for celebrating interfaith harmony and love and peace. So I really welcome Khadija to offer the poem. Please, Khadija.
Thank you so much, Greshma. I would like to share my poem on interfaith titled Our Interfaith Community. Peace. Peace prevailed on earth before men left their faith and caused humanity to death. Why did we carry a stone in our hearts? Why is the world broken into many parts? We see this once peaceful land be destroyed by ruthless bands. All are armed, all are planned. All this fighting is for what? They downgrade others' faiths and smother. Why did they trample over worshippers? We extinguish fires, yet the fire inside is flaming with pride. A man with a beard and a cap isn't a sign of terrorism, nor is a man with a turban. A woman with a hijab isn't a sign of insecurity or oppression, nor is a woman who chooses to be bald. Denial is not an answer if we envision a future that is better. If we are to choose between love and hatred, we know within us what should be embedded. Our beliefs may differ, but never did our scripture instruct terror or build barriers between faiths. Human beings we are, gifted with a mind to think. So let us think. What is our universal law? What is our common interest? Respect, care, and justice, the good deeds we practice, human rights and peace, our shared values are our duties. We will see a day when men and women of all faiths, everyone stands to pray, even in their own ways, because there's no limit to the diversity of faiths. What a merry it is to see once dry land become the center for world peace. As our diversity of faiths bring us together, let us hug each other like sisters and brothers. Peace within me, peace be on you, peace prevails on earth. Thank you so much. As we see all how our shared common interests, we may have different perspectives, but we are constantly searching for peace and that seed of peace within us. And as we reflect it to our natural world, we gradually grow these seeds of peace into a tree that blooms into a beautiful tree in nature. Peace is love, harmony, clear soul, and the light to our hearts, reflecting it outwards to nature. It was a lovely day. We have reached at the end of our global interfaith prayer event. We don't want to see this as the end, and we pray that more interfaith dialogues and more prayers will continue. Thank you all again to our respected faith leaders and our dear viewers for taking the time to share this blessed day with us. Shukran, Dhanyavad, Toda, Salamat po, Shukriya, Gracias, Merci, Merci. Thank you and peace and blessings be with you all.
Thank you, Khadija. I think your poem is really, really touching. And thanks for this. She wrote this poem for this event. So I really want to thank and congratulate. It's really great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a wonderful poem, Khadija. Take care, everybody. Have a good day, good evening, good night.
Maya
Bye.
Salame,
Thank you.
Khadija. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Wish,
Thank you so much.
and Bishop is here. Dear Bishop, please share a reflection for us. You are muted.
So congratulations, Reshma. And I was traveling at the same time. In between, I could also follow. And I appreciate the talks that I heard and that you shared. And the last poem of our sister was also on peace. And you can have an air-conditioned room, but if you don't have peace, you may not be able to sleep well. So all of us need peace. And let us work for peace, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, dear Bishop, and thank you all.
Just for your information, and Greshma is from my diocese. I am proud of Greshma, who has traveled across the world, and a woman stands for peace and for humanity. I'm really happy about my daughter. God bless you.
Thank you, dear Bishop. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you. And yeah, I'm really grateful to all of you who joined with us today. And once again, I would like to say, Melody Beatty's way, gratitude makes sense of our past, bring peace for today, and create a vision for tomorrow. So, with a vision for tomorrow, we are closing this meeting and hope we can see again and offer interfaith prayer for all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Adia, please.
Thank you.